Just like, yay, life.
Yay, life is right. Thanks for leading this episode, by the way.
He has the energy for it.
He sure does. He's amped.
I hate you with a burning passion that you will never, ever understand fully. Welcome to the circle, a very special circle. I'm going to introduce the only friendly person on this panel to me, and that is Alebrije. Thank you for joining me in this special episode, Alebrije.
Hey, thanks for having me, buddy.
Well, it's just the two of us, so what do you want to talk about? I
talk
guess
about those
Howling's
asshole
here
friends of
too.
yours.
Oh, I know. Seriously, they just throw this on me. I was listening partially to the start of last episode because I was hoping to find something to do the AI art on, and I realized that I have asshole friends again, just leaving me to host this shit. I just got back literally seconds from driving. And now
Literally seconds.
So, Stoney, how are you?
Wonderful, my man. I'm really glad to have you back and settled in. You came in
Settled
hot
is a
and
word.
You're starting to. I mean, I think medicating is probably a better term for it, but we're really glad to have you, man. We couldn't start without you. And
I appreciate you guys waiting.
it seems like the California gods just wanted to make sure that you arrived at this prompt time. And I mean, I know you love spending time driving towards the coast. So,
Always my favorite direction. Thank you, Stoney. You've made your ways into my good graces again. Howling, how the hell are you? I don't really care.
I love you.
That works. I'm that cheap. And Johnny, you owe me an apology for throwing it to me. How are you?
Well, you always got to start it off anyways. And to be honest, if I was going to lead or throw somebody under a bus under an episode, it would want to be an Alebrije circle episode. So I kind of did you a favor on that.
You really did. I am absolutely all excited to have all my friends back. Thank you for sucking up and making me feel so good. Alebrije, we are stoked for you to join us on this special episode that we are trying to rush and will drop right before the drop is amazing. The Alebrije could come or go this time, no bias on my end. I'm just kidding.
Finally a wolf coming.
Yeah, finally. So let's start off there. Everybody wants to know. I'm sure they're reading about it, but they want to hear the big man's voice himself describe it. What's this drop? It's Thursday, right?
Yeah, it's Thursday, 4:20 Eastern time, your favorite coast.
You know it.
Yeah, it's Drowsy Lobaka. It's the wolf cow, which is the mother was milk and cookies from Daz himself, Night Owl. And the pollen donor was my Steve's Purple Acid, my little purple microdot with purple nuggets project, sort of honoring Steve, the late breeder of Morningstar, the creator of the purple microdot. So this is actually going to be my last release with that pollen donor, and moving onwards to other projects, but it's a good one to end on with it. It's super bushy plant, easy to grow. It's pretty fast finishing, 75-day-ish, 80-day range, and gassy, super gassy, skunky, strawberry jam, like very savory berry kind of terps on it. And yeah, it's right in the name. It's pretty drowsy. We ran the first round of testers over the holidays last year. I remember smoking on it through most of the Thanksgiving, Christmas season, and we were watching a lot of holiday movies, and we were just falling asleep left and right on the couch. And that's just where the drowsy came from. So it's a really good one. We got about 100 packs for the US and about 5 packs going international. And yeah, it's our first drop of the year, so we're excited about it. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm super stoked for the drop. Howling, how many of those 100 have you already pre-ordered?
Oh, 97.
How many computers are gonna have set up that day?
Yeah, how
and
many
people
burner
farming
accounts?
it? Yeah, like he's gonna be farming it for crying out loud.
As long as I get at least 50 packs, I'm good.
Yeah.
There you go. No, that sounds wonderful. I know I tease Howling, but really, I do think it's an amazing artwork too, specifically.
Yeah,
And
shout out to El Brujo Tattooer. He's an
speaking of
awesome
which,
grower in the community who did the art. He's a badass tattoo artist, so I was like, he definitely fit the style I was looking for that one. So,
hell yeah! And didn't he do Grateful's tattoo? You got people permanently ruining themselves for you, brother. How's that feel?
Dude, I saw that. I was like, whoa,
I love
holy
it.
shit, your fucking
looks so
fanboy's
good.
sticking out. Jesus Christ.
No, that was actually a different tattoo artist. Shout out to Hello Branny, who's
that's right.
actually,
Oops.
but he's doing
Awesome.
one of our other Alebrijes that's coming out this fall. So
Nice.
you were on it. We've gotten a few tattoo artists, a few graffiti artists. We like to change it up.
It's the company you keep. I dig it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hell yeah, dude.
First of all, Ben, thanks for coming on to the show and releasing this sort of information right before. I mean, we're really glad to have you always. It's always just like hanging out with someone else on the circle, but for such a special occasion, I totally appreciate you coming on for it. But and to see the treat. I mean, I was reading through the zine, refreshing myself that you've been putting out. I love that thing. So I want to get to that one here in a little bit, but you were talking about the, sitting around over Thanksgiving and Christmas. And the first thing that started to pop into my head was, did you know back then that this was going to be the strain for this drop, or were you still kind of looking at a few, or
Yeah,
talk a little bit more through that?
That was like just a round of various testers, which sometimes I'll do. And in fact, like these were just sort of thrown in a corner, which is why I said the first round of testing. I had like 4 plants like shoved in a little 2x2. They were just in like 2-quart little half-gallon pots. And I didn't take care of them, and they turned out stunning. And I was like, okay, definitely worth a second look. And so we ran them again immediately, basically from the winter into the spring, and it was in the works. From there, I mean, I knew after the first round, we sort of started to work towards a name and bet on her, but definitely put her through another round of testing, and I needed some good photography of it and things. That's always part of it.
Sure.
So if it's just like a little rough stress tester, which has been the case sometimes in some of my older work, so now I've sort of learned how to phase things and stage things in a way to definitely test it out, make sure it's good. I need to figure out what the Alebrije is, who's the artist going to be, who fits the style, why is it that animal, and then get stickers and pins made, which can take several months. Even the art can take a month or so. Yeah, it's a long thought process goes into it from the beginning.
It's a big funnel too, because it's not just one piece, right? So like you're not like, okay, this is the magical strain, and now I'm going to develop everything else, all the artwork and everything around it. It's kind of all coming together with this vision. I think was one of the coolest things that I've always valued and appreciated with your work, is that it's, when you come out with it, it's more of a vision of something rather than something that you crafted specifically to it, right? Things started to come together, the names come together, artists and their renditions start to influence a little bit, and then you're growing different testers along the way. What was it that stood out on this one? That really, I mean, because you hear that, or I'm hearing, and everyone else is hearing, oh, it's this little tester over in the corner. It's the first thing we think was, oh, that's not clearly never going to be at its peak, but clearly there was something in there that you were like, that's pretty damn tasty. We need to run that again.
They were all that super strawberry, and then as it matures and cures, it gets more gassy and rank, and these little, as it cures, more skunkiness comes out, and but it's got that underlying jam kind of thing going on. Yeah, it was just like it hit the spot. It was like, it's one of those things. It's just the taste test where of the testers and things we grew, those jars were going the fastest. That's what we found ourselves reaching for. And currently we're smoking on all the stuff from the winter, early spring run. at the moment, and yeah, it's really hitting the spot. It's had a nice little like month-long cure now.
Now, you do all your testing yourself as far as terpenes and effects go, or are you relying on your testers for that as well? Like, how do you make your ultimate selection? How much of outer influence is in that, and how much of it is you?
It's all pretty much me and my wife as well, what she tends to like. But nah, by the time I've passed it out to other testers, I've usually run it. Not always the case. Every single strain is different. You know, some are at different generations. Some are things I've tested multiple times. Some just have gone through once. Everything's been tested at least once. And when I say once, you know, between like 8 to 12 plants or so, a fair amount of them, usually in a handful of tents. So the environments are sometimes different, and definitely different lighting, which it's really interesting when you can see these things under different lights from different manufacturers, and you can really tell who's got better quality than others, or whose spectrum is more dialed in than others. But anyway, I see it as good stress testing for me, but it's just funny because every other condition is the same.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm totally a fan of your wife testing it based on her feedback of that Lubaka put me out last night. I'm like, that's perfect. Like, that's exactly what I love.
That's, you know,
6 years supply of shit like that, Howling.
She's a broadleaf fan for sure, but in the same packs with the drowsy Lubaka, we also have the Indios Verdes as the
that was really exciting one, man.
This is the freebie tester again, which I've tested once, but this will be fun to get it out there and have sort of community test and see if it's something I might want to, you know, work for it in the future. I have a fair amount of seeds of it left over. So definitely a project I might take on. It's a little longer, and
I noticed that. I thought that was kind of cool that you almost got a little balance going. I mean, because you know, you put, I think it was 70 to 85 days. Then you mentioned right off the cuff a little bit ago that it's a little bit fast running the drought, and this one was like 85 to 110. Is that what you listed it at?
I mean, yeah, like I pulled them around 100. I think it's fine.
Really?
It also might be. It just doesn't seem to like amber up much, but it doesn't really need to. It's got pretty psychedelic effects at times. Very
Doesn't that sound wonderful?
Super complex terps, which is all about, you know, fruity, funky, rotten, BO. It kind of runs the gauntlet. But yeah, it reminded me of Indios Verdes metro station in Mexico City, where you just see all these different fruit vendors, and there's candy, and there's, you know, some stray dogs, and there's all sorts of people crammed into trains and buses, and there's some BO going on, and I don't know, it just reminded me, there's, you know, taco stands frying up chorizo and things.
Yeah,
so many little
street food, and cooking going on everywhere, and open fires, and
and it's got train wreck in the roots, so the metro station and the trains also sort of like played into the name. But it's a fun one. You know, it's still, you know, drastically shorter than a photo period. You know,
sure.
Sativa leaning, narrow leaf leaning plant might be. So,
well, and I got to encourage everyone, like, don't sleep on the freebies. Like, that's part of my where drowsy Lubaka came from, is like my obsession with it was dog snacks, and milk and cookies was one of the parents. And like, that was one of my, and it was a freebie. I'm like, that is one of my favorite plants. It grew perfectly the shape that I like, the dense bud. It was perfect. And
I've been holding up, but this is the perfect segue about freebies, because his August drop has a freebie coming out in it, and I've been fucking growing it.
Yes. Tangy, making the revival.
Oh my God. I can't. It's the freebies.
Don't sleep on them. Yeah. Don't sleep on them. So, I mean, not to put down the main release, but you do a good job with the freebies.
Technically, same release though.
Now in August, well, he's already switched over to Tangy. But in August, yeah, we're gonna drop Tangy 2.0, which is gonna come with like four different Tangy variations, which is the F3 generation. One is a reverse back cross to the Amnesia Haze that was one of the parents. One is
that sounds
Tangy,
wonderful.
Yeah, one is Tangy mixed, which is with vitamins, a CBD mixed ratio Tangy.
Sold Howling. 45 packs in Howlings. He's farming already.
And then the freebie is a fast photo period version of Tangy, where a lot of the phenos, not all, but a lot of the phenos lean Tangy as far as a photo period might go.
That's amazing.
I mean, I could totally speak on that. Of the 8 of them you sent me, 4 of them, in my opinion, resemble. Actually, I would say there's a 5th now. There's one that is over at Dad's that is really starting to resemble actual Tangy. So 5 of the 8, I would say the majority actually show. Fuck, what am I, muted?
No, you're no.
We can
You're
hear
not
you,
muted.
I hear you.
Oh, is it the wrong mic? God damn it.
Sounds tingy, but I accidentally unplugged my mic too at one point. We're just so technologically advanced over here at YAG. Well, I wanted to hear Johnny's beautiful voice. So there you go.
I'm back. There. I knew
Yeah.
something happened. I heard it. I was like, what's going on? I was checking everyone else's mics. I thought, okay, I hear
I
it.
tried
a hard time.
Time out.
It's weird.
I tried to keep that off the air and be super sly, and I said, Johnny, your mic sounds off to me. And then he goes, am I fucking muted?
Hey, I just know, man. Listen. I will fucking tell everybody as it is right now. I am an audio fucking Nazi. Okay, I like this.
Yes.
If we're one thing is not gonna be fucking average on this show, it's our fucking audio. I like to sound good. I'm sorry.
Let me move my mic away.
Yeah.
See,
Closer.
Send help.
I'll take you back. I'll take you back to those 4 Tangies. Take me back to those 4 Tangies, Johnny.
5
This audio interruption has been brought to you by Alebrije Genetics.
So the Tangy you're running, Johnny, is that the fast photo one?
So let's tell this in fucking high def here. Of the 8, 5 of them are showing very much Tangy resemblance. Very much in photo or in veg still yet. But 4 of them are like hardcore. There's a 5th that's on the borderline leaning Tangy. But 4 of the 8 are absolutely resembling that fucking Tangy leaf profile. And it's just the same stretch, the same leaf structure, the same fucking. And it's sick. Even my dad said, he said, hey, come over and help me fucking trim these leaves, because he doesn't like to do the trimming and the cutting, and I fucking am Edward Scissorhand with the scissors. I don't give a fuck when it comes to photos. So I go, hey, you want to smell something fucking crazy? He goes, what? I snapped off 2 of the big fucking leaves and handed him to him, and he goes, yeah, dude, it's fucking insane. I said, in veg, man. In veg, like a stem rub off of these motherfuckers, you're getting like a fruity fucking smell. Even the ones that don't resemble her. And it's insane. Every one of them over here do it. And it's just, I can't wait to flip them. But I had that fucking light problem. That Mars Hydro fucking 4800 or whatever the fuck that piece of shit, that thing is glitching the fuck out on me. And flickering in front of my eyes, so I'm having to replace those. And I my 3 of my Tangies are ready to fucking flip. I just got to get those lights switched out. So that's the next couple of days, is getting that, because she's fucking scrogged out. She's filling and ready to stretch. So I can't wait to give a terp report to see how much of her terp profiles come back when she's in flower. Like, every time I've grown Tangy as a photo or auto, when she's in the fucking house, you fucking know it.
Oh, yeah.
You fucking open the door. It's like, I'm growing fucking Tangy. Every time. You just have to open the door to my fucking house, and it's like, yep, Tangy's here. It's insane, man. So
my last grow was the Tangy F3 and Tangy Wedding. and they were literally competing to out tangy the fucking house that I was in. Like, it was ridiculous. I would literally like open a tent to do something in it, close it, and be like, "Whoa, that was tangy," and then open the tent and then be like, "Holy shit, that's tangy!" Like, it was just, you could, the second the tent opened, it was crazy. And the second I chopped tangy, the F3, it was the loudest plant out of the. It was insane. It was like muted until she was chopped.
Insane, man. It's so I just can't wait to see if the photo's doing the same fucking. I'm gonna see the same terpene profile, because that's exciting.
Even if it leans towards the other parent, it was strategic to also be similar. It's it's papaya melons from Bloom Seed Company. It's a very it was raunchy tropical fruit too. It kind of falls into the same spectrum. So even if it's not spot on tangy, it's like in the same like raunchy fruit, sweet fruit.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun. I can't wait. I need a fucking mom of that around, because God, for fuck's sake, man, I cannot. It is literally my favorite fucking smoke of all time.
You have grown the most tangy, I think, because you have grown almost every seed that you have been given.
I have grown almost every seed I have been given. I think I have one tangy auto left sitting there. Otherwise, every fucking tangy I have ever been given has been gone through, and I have seen every single bit of it.
Oh yeah, it is. It's definitely it's a perfect yag medicine. I have to ask and bring up 2 points before I forget it, Alebrije. Speaking about your freebies, I just got back earlier in the weekend. I hung out with Captain J. Who out in Kingman, also Wormlick, who one of his favorite strains of yours was the very first freebie that came with tangy. I think it's called, is it dog, or what's it called now? Cosmic Papato?
Yeah, it was the Star Crunch Dog Walker.
Oh, I got a solo of that.
Still got a vial of it.
Right.
I still got it sitting there, man. It's the only thing I haven't grown that came with tangy.
It's on the to-do list. It's actually at F2. Maybe F2's last year, I think, early last year.
He gifted me some of the flower of that, some of sour, and we smoked some of the purple of the medicinal stuff, and we were looking at it. We were driving around in his like rock crawler badass Jeep out in the middle of the nowhere desert, because it's a fucking desert. You just go off into the desert.
He's a badass dude.
He's a great dude. Him and Wormlick, I cannot shout them out enough. Two of the greatest dudes, super fucking nice guys and great members of the community. I love them dearly. But we were looking at this nug that he had, and as we were pulling it apart and putting it in the bowl to smoke it, it was almost ink black. It was so purple and fucking beautiful. And we smoked it, went right back, and then it was a great fucking trip because of that. So I'm very excited because he sent me home with some. Nice. And then the second thing I wanted to say was, I know you mentioned it on Discord, but do you want to mention to the people listening what is happening with Miracle Plants?
Oh yeah. Well, Miracle Plant is, I just felt like we were kind of spreading ourselves too thin, and I wasn't being as active with it. And I had like a secondary website for it and whatnot, and it just didn't feel, I loved the brand behind it, but I just sort of decided to make it Alebrije Medicinals. So we're still they probably won't be like, it'll be something different. I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do drops for those, but it'll still be within the Alebrije realm, and we'll probably be a creature, and be more fun with it.
Yeah, I think that's rad.
Yeah, and I was also starting this other project. It was called Automatic Washer Company, and it was with another one of these Bloom Seed Company photo conversion projects I have with the Rainbow Guava No. 5. And anyway, it was going to be like all different, just like focused on washing and hash, but autoflowers. And just sort of like exploring if we can get close to, some of the same wash percentage numbers going on in the photo world, but on a little faster timeline. But anyway, again, just don't want to spread myself so thin. So it'll probably just end up being Alebrijes along the way.
We got to get you breaks wherever we can, man. You work way too hard already, so we can't have you building like six separate brands.
Yeah, it felt silly.
It really kind of, I think it speaks to you from a branding perspective. Like, you've put an incredible amount of time and effort and soul and sweat and everything into building Alebrije. It takes a tremendous amount of work to build a brand, to get awareness and recognition. And it takes years and years and years to do that. It's a daunting challenge to spread to several different brands. You probably would have done very successful at it. Combining things into Alebrije and letting it evolve into that, who knows where you'll go in the future with it. But I think it speaks to just who and what the importance of what you're trying to do. It means something. And this is the priority right now, is focus within Alebrije. And there's ways that you can still express that. And there's still work that, I mean, I would only assume that all of that work is still continuing to go on. It's just not going to be seen, right? So it's it's just an evolution of it, and focusing and not even using the brand of Alebrije, but that's you. Something that you've created, and to extend that seems like a wise plan too. Especially because they're all so much involved with the story of you and the story of Alebrije. So time will continue to evolve, man. And in 20 years from now, if we're still on this show and you want to come back with multiple brands, then we'll certainly take you back. We'll have all three sponsors be.
I was just also realizing I like to just try to keep it simple,
focused.
Keeping life simple and focused, and not spreading myself thin, and anyway, it'll come as it comes, but it'll still be like the same format, except for the freebie would be a different mixed ratio. Say the main strain might be a CBD ratio, mixed ratio, and then you might get a CBG kind of freebie, which I have a lot of those projects in the works for several years now. They need more testing and a little more work to dial in, but that's been fun for me. I really enjoy those.
Well, I mean, back to what we were saying before about the freebies and not passing on the freebies. Like, technically, so I just I've been puffing on Jack's Frost, right, which was the freebie for, I believe it was the.
That was one of the Christmas.
Drops. Yeah, I think I got mine with the winter hat that I got.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So it was the freebie.
That was like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. That was. It was maybe Jimmy Sour. Jimmy Jack's
Sour Gingerbread.
Purple Nuggets, I think.
Yeah.
Or Sour Gingerbread was the other one in that drop, I think. Yeah. I think Jack's Frost might have been this past year.
You're right.
I think it was Jack's
Frost. Again, freebies, man.
What was the other one? Long Holiday or some shit? Why am I saying?
Oh yeah, Permanent Holiday.
Permanent Holiday. See,
after the Mike Love song.
Yeah.
So again, don't skip on Alebrije's freebies. I know sometimes in other companies you get some freebies that are just kind of, it's hit or miss or whatever. But I think almost everything they're just as cool on all the freebies. And I still have my 2 beans left of Tangy sitting in the archive waiting for the special occasion to come about. So for sure. Yeah.
Well, hell yeah.
No, I'm thrilled. There's so much to talk about. I think we are all kind of wondering which way to go, because I know Stoney want to talk about the zine, which we all do.
Yeah,
but let's first, because I've noticed with Alebrije episodes, we always forget to give dates and stuff sometimes, and so we'll just be like, "Oh, this is great." We have key points that we always miss, right? So a key point I want to mention is the Alebrije bonsai competition is coming up.
Yep.
And that bleeds into the Yag Alebrije grow along. so we're set up for a whole fall of Alebrije, but let's focus only this time on the bonsai, because otherwise we'll get ourselves into trouble with saying shit we can't redo. But the bonsai competition, it's second annual, or is it third? Is this third annual?
Technically, this is going to be our third, since it was a category sort of in the first one.
Yes.
And then last year it was full blown with cannabonsai. And then this year I'm going to call it the third, because we have
fair.
the winner of the
We have
first.
two winners, right?
Sitting
Yeah.
right here. Yeah, we have multiple years of bonsai winners.
And the rules are it has to be an Alebrije?
Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
Does it have to be an auto?
So we're gonna release some more mystery mezclas along the way, pretty low price, just so there's Alebrije beans out there. I'll send you guys beans to spread out for the grow alongs as well.
How wonderful. Thank
awesome.
you.
Grateful for that. Thanks, man.
Of course.
I'm excited. As a previous winner, Stoney, do you have any words to maybe convince someone to join the competition that might not already consider it?
I mean, it's a lot easier than you think it is. It's a lot more creative than you might anticipate. I think go back and listen to some of the other episodes that we've done around the cannabonsai, and they'd be fun to kind of circle back to myself and listen to. But join in, because even if you have a smaller plant that you're working or something that's larger, it's really about the spirit and the creativity of doing it, and that's the fun in it, because it does not matter what you get out in the end of it. It doesn't matter if it grows well. It's just a matter of fun and in the process with it. So that's my kind of words of encouragement, is like, don't worry about the competition part of it. It's really just about coming together and growing and having fun with some kind of bonsai. There's always room. If you have a room for a solo cup, you have room for a can of bonsai. I mean, I'll be growing the one in my trophy pot is like, I think it's less than a quart of soil all said and done into it. So it can be done in any size. So
totally. Yeah, that's my exact philosophy on it as well. It's all about the fun and messing around and trying techniques. So, I encourage to try to come up with a creative theme or pot that's fun to grow in, or try a traditional, training technique, or grow the roots over, a stone or crystal or something, or take it as an opportunity to try some technique like a drip system, or something where you can try to grow the biggest little plant you can, maybe in cocoa, or I think we had someone even try hydra last year. Which is just a fun, interesting concept.
Jack Lake Grow did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's I knew somebody did it.
He could do anything if he puts his mind and hands to it. That dude, he is a do-it-yourself master. We have quite a few, same with K-pop, but yes. I always love seeing the people literally just making their own little systems because they want to make a little can of bonsai, and it's amazing.
It's just fun. Yeah, it's all about the fun, and just sharing photos makes it enjoyable to see what other people are doing. And I plan on continuing this on year after year, and hopefully we'll get more people joining in every year. And it's just fun to show them and try them. I've got 3 young right now myself. They're young. They're only in their second week, so I haven't really been showing them off that much. But I will soon, as they start to look more interesting.
Yeah, just by timing wise for the grow along, or the grow together, for our grow together, I'm going to be running a can of bonsai in there, and then when the can of bonsai competition comes in, I'm going to do another one. So yeah, I mean, they're always fun to have sitting around. I oftentimes start them on my kitchen counter, so they're just come together and have the fun and the experience of it, and everyone's growing together, and it just builds a lot of confidence and experiment. I think that's the fun part of it too. Like you said, try different systems and have some fun with it. It's a blast doing. And I think you are really one of the pioneers to continue this, because it always happens when we start doing these grow togethers or grow alongs. It starts popping up on IG, and then all of a sudden the algorithm starts finding, and there's really only a handful of other people out there that are doing it. And everyone's like, oh, I mean, they're on the news and all this sort of stuff. They're doing videos and that sort of stuff on these people. And then it's like I just kind of chuckle, because our community has got 40, 30 or 40 different ones growing. It's incredible. So
and ours is different too, because they're autos, and they just sort of flip on their own. So some people get really tiny little stubby plants, and some get impressively huge plants. It's just that adds to the fun of it, I think. Honestly.
I love doing it in solo cups. like you said, but it's also fun because you can plant. I plant like 8 or 10 most runs, and you get some that grow and then some that are just don't like anything. And it is always fun. It's totally luck of the draw. So it is like you plant it with a plan, and you hope to God you don't fuck it up to when it gets to that plan. It's fun, man.
Yeah. My one last year during the grow along, I was trying to like wrap it around a stick, and it just stunted and stopped. Oh, I forgot. I also had it in a tent with my
I was gonna say, didn't you get her
pollinator? Yeah, I had her in there with my pollinator at the time, and it was a little Blue Zeroso, and I got pregnant with tangy tijuana that was in there.
There you go. That's funny.
Yeah, I think I pulled
that's
like
awesome.
25 or 30 beans off of it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
little cross pollination accident. Can't beat that.
Yeah, why not?
So, with your recent trip to Italy, did you walk away from anything like away from there with anything that you think you want to bring with you, like you often do? Like when you go to Mexico and you say, "Oh, that really reminds me," certain tropical flavors. In Italy, is it like, I got to find a deli guy? Like, how do you find it?
Boy, I can't wait to find tomato sauce terps.
Yeah, like I know there are some
fish.
there, but
come on now, you're in Italy. It's mostly fish. Let's be real.
No, so like the dominant flavor of we were staying in Ravello on the Amalfi Coast, and like everywhere you'll appreciate this, Rev. It's your favorite. It was lemons. I don't know if you like limes better, but I know you're a citrus guy. So lemons everywhere, lemon everything, lemon soap, lemon toothpaste, lemon candy, limoncello, lemon sorbet, lemon gelato, So yeah, no, it definitely inspired lemons. I got a bunch of lemon stuff. And we had some really good lemon sorbetto that was tasty. So I played back into the tangy reverse back cross to the Amnesia Haze. Is like straight lemon lime. It's like lemon lime candy meets Sprite, like a creamy Sprite. So that was definitely
wonderful.
Reminiscent when we got home.
I mean, your trip, you're pretty much in tropical area of Europe, right? The Amalfi Coast. You're down south, and so you're citrus and I believe they've even got like the Seville style of oranges and all sorts of citrus that's going on all throughout that range. The preserved lemons are always super cool too, where they just pack them full of salt and let them sit, and so the dominant flavors are there. You seem to travel to tropical areas for your vacation and relief and inspiration. And I know that's a huge part of your trip. I mean, your travel log that you wrote was brilliant. So, Brett, thanks again, man, for gathering all that stuff and then sharing it with the community, because I think that's one of the lost dying arts that people have is travel logs and sharing travel logs like that. But a lot of your trips are always like they're recharging, right? And they re-inspire you, and they seem to re-center you and re-get you set. This was a big one for you. Just kind of came.
This was like a mixed trip of it. Like some of it is like we were in Rome, and I'd never been to Rome, so Rome was like full go. There's so much to do and so much to see. But then like Amalfi was so super chill. It's like, oh, we have nothing to go do and see. It's all about the view and just like going to hit the beach and walking around the towns. And that part was very relaxing. And then Malta was more or less the same. It was just all about taking it in and just chilling throughout the streets. And early in Rome too, we were getting over a little jet lag and whatnot, and just we had like a rough several weeks getting ready to be gone for a few weeks, and so we were kind of tired, so wasn't like really consuming any cannabis for like the first 2 or 3 days. And then after that started, like I took a bunch of RSO gummies that I'd made, and after that started like enjoying the time a lot more, like,
right? And it takes time
on sleep, and
exactly. You got to get into vacation.
This is lovely. Yeah, let me eat this delicious pizza and gelato while I walk around and look at like beautiful ruins. Yeah, it started to get a lot more fun once we started pulling the gummies out.
So do you really make some invested time and effort to think about what you're going to be doing with Alebrije over the next year? Is that sort of strategy time, or are you unplugging it? Or are you like, hey, I'll take notes when I need to, jot down here and there? Or do you take some real intent of like, let's think about this. Let's use this as inspiration for the next step with Alebrije.
Just like creatively in general, I think you get your best ideas kind of come when you're not really trying to think about it.
Yeah.
And you know, I like to use vacation for that, to just sort of like get away and, you know, be free, but like it's still there in the background, and like every, you know, like Rev said, even if it's just a flavor or something might inspire something, or a little spark might jump out, and then I am thinking about it, you know. But I can't think of anything super specific that came from that trip.
Notebooks tend to be like, you know, because I'm similar in that process too, where like if I'm going away like that, I kind of wanted to unplug from things, but I'd always carry a notebook because I'd see stuff, or I'd, you know, snap a picture of a menu or something in a market, or something that was just really inspiring, but not something where I was like, all right, I'm going to take this time and I'm going to take this 2 to 3 hours. Some people do, and I think that's brilliant. You know, some people's work ethic and style is that way. But I think there's something to be said about just, you know, making notations, whether it's on your phone or something like that, and observations, because that's just a part of the creative stream. Like you got to feed it and fuel it. You know what I'm saying?
I did, yeah. That day, 420 in Malta, I was getting pretty lit on those gummies, and so I was like taking notes. I had the intention to like write a little piece up of what my 420 experience was that day. So I was just sort of like taking notes of a few details along the way, just so because later on I did totally forget all the little details. Like, watched some of my wife's videos, and then like some of the sounds came back, and this guy's voice was back in my head, and, you know. So yeah, it was nice to have some little notes and little videos and things to respark the memory. But it's been so long since I've done any form, like since college, I haven't done any like much creative writing or anything. Not this was like creative, you know, fiction or anything, but I don't know, just sometimes like
that was creative, man. I'll argue with you on that one.
You know?
Yeah, and putting yourself out there. So
yeah, the practice of writing, no matter what type of writing, is a type of creativity. Right. However, I will say I once had a college teacher tell me that my writing was not creative in a creative writing class. And I was like, what the fuck? Okay. Anyhow. But yeah, like just that practice and getting your mind working, I think is very creative, because most of the creativity, I think, happens in your brain way before you jot it down. Right. So you're just making proof that you were creative before.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, I also just have like ongoing lists of like, I already have jotted down what June, July, and August, just like some ideas of like maybe some recipes or a little story here, or, you know, whatever, who's going to be the interview person, things like that. Just sort of like getting ahead, and, you know, so that's the whole Alebrije. Same goes with the plants and the breeding and the testing. Everything is like, you got to be multiple steps ahead. It's slow progress, I think, is best for me. I'm not interested in like dropping a bunch of things right at once, and I just want to take my time and just do something I really have enjoyed.
Focus, man. And I think that's kind of where
do it right.
That goes back to what I was saying before about one of the things that I really value in everything that you create is that there's a lot of focus to it. I mean, you could easily, you know, put out a large volume of things out there, but you focus on all of the elements and details of it for it to come together. And that just takes time, and that takes planning. And I've always said, you know, I think people oftentimes don't see that sort of forest through the trees of how much effort and time it takes to get, you know, and it's anytime like when we have Big Green Guy on here, and knowing how his process is and how far out and what sort of the amount of time and thought and effort that goes into just one bean going out. Like people just don't have that true concept of what it takes. And then for you to just add all of these other elements of creativity onto it, the zine and all that sort of stuff, which I think is really cool. Fuck, there's half a generation that doesn't even know what the term zine actually comes from, but you know what I mean? Like, and to have something like that where you're taking time to put that amount of creative writing into it, like it's focus, man. And I think that's one of the things that I dig about you, and like what I was saying just a minute ago to circle back was that you're focused in what you're doing, and that takes a lot of effort and time. So right on, dude.
Thank you. And I just want to take a quick second to shout out Big Green Guy myself. Congrats on his latest drop, and he made a very generous donation, almost $300 to save the Paras.
Right on.
So much appreciated, my brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the collaboration and what you guys are doing is pretty cool too.
Yeah, I think he's sending me some. I haven't tried it yet myself, but we love our frogs.
That's right, man.
Hey, see, like I always say, Alebrije is my favorite. No bias. I do feel terrible because I'm like, I always recommend Alebrije, and I can't. I will say, like, but I also have an entire tent just dedicated to him that I just upgraded, so I might be slightly biased.
Right? Yeah, that's what we need to be talking about, the new 2x4.
I know, dude. I'm excited. I've got I just got home, so I have my dry should have ended today, but because I was so excited to rush back to my lovely friends, you guys, I haven't checked on it. But once I check on it, I'm getting to trimming the Tangy F3 and Tangy Wedding and stuff. But that 2x4, I'm gonna put I think I'm gonna, when I get my next run going up here, I'm gonna put. I haven't decided on the next plant that's going in there. It's going to be slightly smaller because I want to showcase what's in there first, and then maybe like go equal size containers after that. But I like the option to be able to put, like, if, for instance, if you know you have a plant that's going to go big, I like the option to be like, all right, I have my one earth box in there and a slightly smaller plant like I do with my solo cups, right? But I also like the idea if it's two like medium size plants to get two containers at the same size in there to get equal size plants.
That's wise. Very wise.
That's my plan. We'll see how often I fuck it up.
I tend to max out my space way tighter than you do, though.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I you know my run, I did 4 plants full size in an earth box, and then had 2 of them, so 8 plants total in a 5x5, but just 2 earth boxes, and they were all huge, yielded great. I just had to like train them over.
Hey, earth box of flavors, dude. That's what I'm doing for the fall.
Yeah, man. I want to encourage you. You can, like, earth boxes can get big.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they can go big. I love it.
How come you haven't said anything in like 2 weeks?
No.
Who, Howling?
Yeah, I was
calling
giving him shit. Yeah, your photos in those earth boxes are going crazy, Johnny.
My dad is convinced he wants to get rid of his big bed in the 2x4 and put a fucking earth box in there. And I am tending to fucking agree. I mean, it's tough with a fucking 2x4 bed at the whole bottom of a 2x4 tent. It's tough. Like, where do you put the fucking humidifier? Where do you put your fans? Like, you're already fucking like 6 inches higher than you would be, or 10 inches higher probably than you would be in an earth box. So it's really tough to like sow a seed in there. I don't know. Earth boxes and photos in a 2x4, man. I think one earth box, one photo, it's fun. And that's what I got rocking with the one Tangy. And I'm also with the 3x3 bed, like in a 4x4. There's always a back corner you can't get to. I'm finding 3 plants in that fucking 4x4. I got a fucking square bed, but there's always a corner I can't quite unzip and get back to no matter what. So it's like, fuck that little area, man. That's where fans and shit can go and humidifiers or whatever else. But it's it used to be about maximizing the fucking tent to full capacity and trying to, and then it was just like, yeah, but then I get what? Bugs and fucking rot. So I think slowing it down, earth box in a 2x4, a little less plants maybe in your fucking space. It makes it a little more manageable than trying to just fucking fill out a space. I'm learning. So
I hate 4x4s.
They should be like a fucking triangles. Give me something I can like tuck into a corner or something. These fucking square things, I'm fucking old, man. I'm not getting any younger, and I don't want to stop growing anytime fucking soon. So I just gotta manage my back around some of these motherfuckers, you know? So
a triangle bed, huh?
Maybe, yeah, I don't know if I could. It's possible.
Cool.
Yeah, that just had a little flash of innovation, didn't it?
Yeah, I just pictured that little triangle tent in the corner. And
I'd be like, that'd be pretty
kind of handy for like just like filling a little extra space.
Yeah, man, I got a lot of dead corners that Megan would love to kill me for.
See?
All us growers have so many tents. We're all just like, oh yeah, I could totally squeeze in another one.
Dude, you know what you could do? I could just start claiming I hate like sharp angles and that they like freak me out, man. Like
everything's an octagon now in everyone's house.
Now I gotta have. Let's round every age. Let's do a radius. I'll get a tent with a back angle or something.
It's a cone, an ice cream cone shaped fucking tent.
There you go. There you go. All for my near eye. Yeah. I'm thinking of reasons always.
I like it.
Love it.
Shit.
All right.
So definitely I like the idea of fucking earth boxing the fucking 2x4, man. That's
where I'm at right now. And I'm like looking at it from the size and relativity with it. Just seems like really logical. And
dude, those like sub irrigated planters, no matter what it is, if it's fucking auto pots with salts or fucking earth boxes with water down the fucking tube, they act as if there's a large volume of fucking soil there.
Oh yeah,
that's they
multiply the bed size. It seems like. I mean, there's probably no theory to that or like actual science, right? It's just the plants go big.
Totally.
It's
like
in
4 plants in roughly 7 gallons of soil, they got as big as they, would in their own 5-gallon pot each.
Yeah. That's insane. And you never realize how much they drink. There's just so much that you'll notice because you're reproducing nature. And when you watch a plant grow as it was natural, we're arguing about natural in a tent, so there's only so much there. But the roots and everything growing underneath, when they find the water like they would over an aquifer or something like that, you watch them explode as they would in nature, right? Because everything can either it goes right. It just kind of clicks in, and it's crazy to see once you start bottom watering. And it gets you out of a lot of trouble sometimes too. You'll see a slow plant start getting bottom watered and just bounce back immediately and take off.
Yeah. Totally. Every time, man. Even with my in the fucking little vegetable fucking tents, when I'm getting my vegetables and shit going, just give them some fucking bottom waterings. They fucking love that shit. A little bit on top, but the fucking bottom waterings, it encourages the roots to fucking go down and start to fucking form.
That's what I'm hoping. Like, I got this peach limon that's been sitting in a 9-gallon pot, and it's just like not doing anything. It's slowly growing, so it's doing a little something, but nothing like my other plants. So I decided today I top dressed, and tomorrow the auto pot gets turned on. She's just going to get waterboarded, and I'm sure she'll skyrocket from there, but I'm done waiting around for this. And I know how those plants are. They start butt chugging water, and they act like a different beast.
But weren't your 2 autos in that 2x4 beds almost similar too? Once you hit the bottom watering,
same thing,
fucking exploded. Some of the prettiest plants that fucking last grow like that long, and were saved by bottom watering.
You don't know. It doesn't always. The technology doesn't have to work for only large volume. So back to the bonsai, that little quart pot that I have came with holes drilled out in the bottom, right? So she made sure that there was a drainage hole in it.
Now, just a quick plug. Who made that?
Mrs. Alebrije made that one. That was the very first one, the hand-thrown Alebrije pot. But I had
Wasn't there something coming up though with Alebrije ceramics too?
Yeah. She's also dropping 12 of those planters, but in all different colors and shapes and different clays. Some are ceramic. Some are like red clay. Some are porcelain. they're cool. Yeah, I got all the ones that like got a slight crack in them. So that's what I'm growing mine.
Oh yeah.
All my bonsai's in right now. When I germinate seeds, I germinate extra just to do percentage testing. And so yeah, I was just like, why not? I'm going to use all those little cracked pots. Do a little practice run before September. So maybe I'll do a better job this year than I did last year.
That's what I said when I decided to do the circle. I said, hey, I can use all those little crack pots too.
No, I actually have another little clay pot or it was a clay bowl that I'd had from something else that it sits perfectly into. And so it seals it off around the edge of it. And so once I get to the spot after about, I don't know, like 3 weeks or so, I don't even water over the top. I just fill the bottom and the same method and technique. So where I was going was like, it works in, like Howler has showed that it works all the way up in massive beds to have it sub-irrigated, all the way down. We've been talking Earthbox. Earthbox Junior I had a lot of success in over the course of a year and a half, several rounds in it, but it can go all the way down to just very small, like a quart of soil sitting in like maybe a cup's worth that I added a day. And it did the very same thing that you guys were just talking about. It chugged it and it grew really well in just a quart of soil. That soil was never dry. I never had to top water anything. I was able to put teas in the bottom of it and you could see them soak it up within the day. So it's just I think it's the sub-irrigated technology, or the process of it is the technology. So it's really cool. Some of those.
One thing I hate about my fucking beds is I've got them right on the fucking tent platform. I don't have a fucking tray underneath them. So I can't fucking bottom water my big beds, man. And that sucks. I would love to fucking bottom water that shit. God damn. There isn't an affordable option. I don't know what to do for a 4x4 tent to put a fucking 3x3 bed on. I'm going to have to fucking make one.
Yeah. So some of those smaller Alebrije pots, will they have, possibility to do a little bit of, someone can maybe figure out a sub-irrigation?
Probably not on most of these. So a lot of them are now have like 3 holes off to the side.
Nice.
And the holes are somewhat small, but then they have most of them, except for like maybe 2 or 3, have like the hole in the bottom, but most of them have the 3 holes and have their own little like collection plate built onto it.
Nice.
So it wouldn't quite work for the sub, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, super cool concept, and drainage is the key. I mean, anytime if you see any sort of bonsai planting, it's almost like 10-15% at the bottom, complete aeration to it. It needs a lot of air.
I always put like layers of a little bit of like perlite and then stones and things to just make little air gaps down in the bottom, maybe little pieces of broken terracotta and stuff.
Yep. Very same process you see with like the air dome, and same like concept to it as I think even in autopots, it's like 1.5 inches, 2 inches of some sort of like on the last couple of rounds I've been using little clay balls. For it. Before that, it was big puff pieces of Mother Earth, perlite. So drainage is the key, especially in those smaller ones. So pots coming up in the drop. Also other ceramics going on in this drop to talk a little bit about as well. Tell us a little bit on that one.
Totally. So again, like long planning ahead, we reached out to Grateful Gardener's mom, Nama Potter, and the same one that did y'all's mugs recently. Although I think I asked her first. I asked her like a long time ago.
Did you really? No shit, because no bullshit. I was trying to wait for an opportunity to say it, but I'm gonna fucking steal one, because it was very much, your mugs were very much inspiring us to fucking want to have a logoed fucking drop like that. So it was very much Mrs. Alebrije's fucking inspired. And then when Grateful's mom I saw like was fucking doing the shit, I was like, oh hell yeah, because it's perfect, man. I had no idea you had reached out first.
I reached out a while ago, last year, early on. This was, you remember the Tangy packs came with the original. It was just like a small blank one, and it's because the studio she works at, we can't stamp the name and just don't want to like give it away. What we're up to. So I just needed someone else that could do it, and I've seen Grateful's mom seems to like crank out stuff, and so they also have a 3D printer and was able to like print, Drowsy Labaka, the name of it on there, and she made a little Alebrije Genetics one for the other side, and so it's finally like what I had envisioned from the get-go. We steered and did crystals for a while, but this was always the original vision, was to do like individual, ceramic plant markers and just make another piece of art, functional art that comes with it. All just part of the brand. The brand vision is to include as much art as possible. So yeah, also on this one, I took the chance to use our blank little shell boxes and get wild and do a little graffiti out in the courtyard, and I got a little Alebrije stencil and splattered and sprayed, and just kind of made them more colorful and more on brand.
They look so rad too.
I love those colors.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. I was packing them up today, and I thought they looked really cool, like way cooler than the last did. And I think it'll be fun to. Every single one is slightly different. They're all individual. So I think you guys will have fun.
It's incredible, man. Now, before we let you go, I ask ridiculous questions of each of you guys, one random one time. So I'm going to ask if you could rewatch any movie or show or listen to any song, I will go that broad, for the first time again, what would it be? I will give you a second, everybody, and I will pick randomly with Howling.
Fuck. Shine On You Crazy Diamond by Pink Floyd.
Okay. That's an excellent choice. I like that. No thought. He doesn't give a shit about his friends either. He's gonna go right into it. Stoney.
Love Is All You Need, man. If I could hear that one again and have that one be completely moved again. I mean, it still moves me to tingles and makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck and gives me goose pimples. So if I could go back and hear that for the first time again, because I remember the initial time hearing it, burned into it. So yeah, Love Is All You Need, man.
There you go. Alebrije.
I'll go music too. I'll say the album Legend by Bob Marley.
Holy shit, that was gonna be mine.
Revolution.
That album. Yeah. No, I kid you not. I'll let you go first.
Well, I was gonna say it was because it was actually out in your neck of the woods, was on the Santa Monica Pier, and heard this was in the 6th grade, and heard like this kind of Rasta dude out playing the song Buffalo Soldier, and I just thought it was so cool. And my uncle was a huge Bob Marley fan, and had a beach house named Marley Vale with a Bob Marley flag flying out front, and had a boat named Kaya, which is a classic Jamaican weed strain. So it runs in the family.
And a great song.
Yeah,
one of my favorites.
Great album. Great album.
Yeah, no. So that
But then I got the album. I got the album Legend when we got home soon after in the 6th grade. I remember hearing the whole thing, and I was sold. Was into reggae ever since.
That's absolutely perfect. The reason I was going to choose Legend was because I also some of my earliest memories as a kid, for whatever reason, are being out in Joshua Tree in the middle of the desert, because my mom's family used to own a cabin out there. They were really big into dirt bikes and that stuff. And they had a stereo system because my uncle had set it up, and they were blasting Marley. And so I just vividly remember, as being a little kid, staring into just stars, listening to No Woman, No Cry, the live version, which was on.
Yeah, dude.
It has to be the live version.
In the desert. Yeah. And it was.
Song.
I still think about that all the time because you get people when you listen to a lot of reggae, like Alebrije and I always love reggae, and whenever he posts one of my pictures on Instagram, it's always with a new reggae song, and I dig in and check it out because reggae is amazing. But you'll often find the more you listen to reggae, a lot of people are like, "Oh, Bob Marley wasn't that great," or they'll try and take credit away from him, or like he'll used to sell it, whatever. But that No Woman No Life as a kid in the desert was phenomenal and what got me started. So I'll take it every day because I don't listen to other reggae albums without that song at that period.
Totally. And honestly, like I don't listen to that much Bob anymore. I think I kind of like overdid it in my youth, and then just like
years.
But boy, when it comes on, man, it still tickles, you know what I mean? Like
it still hits the spot for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I don't know. You're like everything else, you're always kind of chasing new sounds.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's so fun how it evolves too. Like some of the work that like I was always just stoked when some of the newer dubstep got mixed in like more exclusively quickly. It was just really like phenomenal stuff, and as it evolves. But enough about reggae, because Alebrije and I have a separate podcast coming called Reggae Talk with two white dudes.
Talking reggae.
Yeah, just talking about
311 is the intro.
You shut your goddamn mouth. Anyway, Johnny.
Sublime Pool Shark,
music?
man.
Oh God, that's a good one too.
Yeah, Sublime Pool Shark.
What an excellent.
Baby likes to shoot pool. I like lying naked in my bedroom.
Now we got copyrighted somehow. They're suing us. His son's back, and he's hungry for money, so he's suing everyone who mentions it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know. For fuck's sake, you ain't kidding, bro.
Hard to get blood from a turnip.
Also, I named my youngest son after him, so fuck you too, dude.
Yeah. But I think those are all phenomenal choices. I applaud you all. Does anyone have anything to plug? Let's leave the most important for last, which would be Alebrije, even though I know what he's going to say is I've already plugged everything. Johnny, what do you have to plug?
Green Guy Genetics.
What a wonderful plug. Stoney.
I'm I've been plugging Alebrije. I'm gonna go with the plug for the drop on this one because I'm gonna be on that phone waiting for the 420 to slide across on Central Time, not 420 on Central. It's 420 on Eastern Time, right? Is the drop correct? So 520 on the normal time frame for us.
Get off your high horse, boy.
And the Central Coast.
You coastless son of a...
So at 5:20, I will be on my phone. That's
not how time zones work. It's 3:20 for us.
Yeah. You're
no. Let him be on his phone at 5:20.
You guys want to hear something fucking crazy? Do you know it is literally the same time everywhere on the fucking planet? Isn't that a crazy notion?
Yeah. Anywho, no, I'm just kidding.
I'll be there at 3:20.
There you go. Be there at 5:20 on Friday. Howling. What do you have to plug?
It's the same thing. It's this drop that's coming up. I'm super stoked, and I'm not biased one bit. Yes, I am. It's going to be awesome. It's just the change in the art direction and what is coming with it and the thought behind it. It's an awesome drop, and I'm super excited.
Perfect. And before I give the last plug, I have a new segment I'm calling Wormlicks Movie Reviews. He went and saw the Planet of the Apes movie, 2.5 hours. It was kind of stupid, but entertaining, I guess. Thank you for listening to Wormlicks Movie Reviews. Thank you, Alebrije, for being my friend. I consider myself very lucky to know all you chuckle fucks. Thanks for joining us. Alebrije,
thanks for listening, everybody.
Hey, dude, he has to plug his thing. He has to say, I don't have anything to plug. Alebrije, do you have anything to plug?
I've already plugged it all, man. I'll plug them again. Well, shout out to my wife for helping me with the packaging and all her awesome ceramics that are coming in the drop. Shout out to El Brujo Tattooer again for his rad Lobaka art coming in the drop. Shout out to grateful and Namapater for their awesome work on the ceramic plant markers. And yeah, don't miss the drop this Thursday, 4:20 on the East Coast.
If you're listening to this, it'll be tomorrow.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, shout out to you guys for always shouting me out every episode.
Cut this part, Johnny. Stop it.
Yes, this is the end. The end. Bye.